Hi, Keith here from Academy of Bass. Thanks for joining me. I've literally just finished practicing, and during that session I was working on something that I really enjoyed, so I thought I'd just really quickly switch the camera on and share this technique with you because it's great fun and it's also an easy way of helping you develop your playing. This is a typical example of taking something that you've learned and using it, playing it in different ways, because that can give you so many more options in your playing than you'd ever imagine. It's also really good for helping you expand your understanding of harmony and also improving your knowledge of the fingerboard too, so it's great all round. I started by playing a little groove, a little funk groove, something like this. And I'm playing over a G minor 7 chord here too. By the way, there's a completely free PDF for this lesson. The link to that is posted below. Make sure you grab a copy because I'm going to be keeping the descriptions down to a minimum in this lesson. If you do enjoy the lesson, please don't forget to like the video and also support the channel by subscribing. It's also really nice to hear from you, so don't forget to give me a shout out in the comments too. Now, whilst I was playing this, I came across a little 4-note line. I would call it a riff, but it's not even that. It's literally a 4-note run. But I don't think I played it there originally. I might have played it up there, but then settled on playing it here. Now, the really good thing about this line is that, firstly, it falls under the hands. Secondly, if we look at the actual notes that I'm playing, D is the 5th of the G minor 7 chord, F is the flattened 7th, G is the root, and B flat is the flattened 3rd. So I'm playing all of the notes in the G minor 7 chord, and the notes in any chord are a bass player's best friend. And if we now superimpose a scale on top of that, the G minor pentatonic scale. By the way, the minor pentatonic scale is the perfect complement to use to play over any minor chord. I have done a couple of lessons on the minor pentatonic scale before where I've looked at it in some detail, so I'll post links to those below. If we take this minor pentatonic scale and just extend it to take in the G string, we find out that this 4-note run is also part of that scale too. So we've got a 4-note run where the notes are under our hands. All of those notes belong to the G minor 7 chord, and they're also part of the G minor pentatonic scale, so we're on to a winner here. The first thing that I do when I come across something new or something that I like is that I look for different places to play them. If this is something that you don't already do, you should give it a go because the results that you can get are absolutely huge. So using this 4-note line in the first position, the next place that I found to play it was here. So I'm at the 5th fret of the A string for D, the 8th fret for F, the 5th fret of the D string for G, and the 8th fret for B flat. So the first thing is that my hand's in a different position. And whenever your hand's in a different position or a different place, you instinctively play differently. So the chances are I'm going to play rhythmically different. And hopefully I'm going to play some new and interesting lines too, which is great. The second place I found to play it was here. So I'm at the 12th fret of the D string for D, 10th fret of the G string for F, 12th fret for G, and then the 15th fret for B flat. And I know that when I play this line, I'm absolutely going to rinse this top note. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to the groove and I'm going to try and use something from each of these positions so that you can hear what they sound like. Now bear in mind, this is my interpretation. If you play the same 4 notes in these same 3 positions, the chances are you're going to play something completely different. I played the line in the first position there really simply, so all I did was play the 4 notes, but when I played it within the bass line, I slid into each note. And in the second position, again, I played the same 4 notes in the same order, but as predicted, it was rhythmically different. So I picked the D twice, hammered onto the F, picked the G twice, hammered onto the B flat. And in the third position, again, same 4 notes, same order, but this time it was rhythmically different again. And I gave the top note a little bit of fizz too, just to help it sing out. So we've got the same line played 3 ways, but they sound subtly different in each position. Now I'm going to look at where else we can play these lines across the neck. So starting with the line in the first position, the most obvious place to take this is starting from D here at the 10th fret of the E string. So we've got D, F at the 8th fret of the A string, G at the 10th fret, and then B flat at the 8th fret of the D string. And you might think, well, it's the same line in the same position, so the chances are I'm going to play the same thing, but there's so much that will work over G minor that's under our hands in this position. All of that essentially is the G minor pentatonic scale, and the chances are I'm going to take advantage of that when I play this line. So that was subtly different. So I played the same 4 notes, but with a little bit of a different articulation. So I played D, double picked the F, hammered onto the G, played the B flat, came back to the G. And then I slid into the D. Now I actually slid in from the C. So I played. The second position I left alone. But if you wanted to, you could play that again from D at the 10th fret of the E string and from D at the 12th fret of the D string. I was much more interested by this third line. But rather than play it the same way, I looked for a different way of playing. So I still started from D here at the 12th fret of the D string, but I jumped down to F here at the 8th fret of the A string, G at the 10th fret, and then B flat at the 8th fret of the D string. And this is what that sounded like. So that was really different. Again, same 4 notes, but I changed the rhythm. So I played, nice quick rhythm, and then purely by instinct, I played this little thing. So it was a chromatic line. I started from G at the 12th fret of the G string, then I played F sharp, which is the major 7 or the natural 7, and then I played F, which is the flattened 7th. And that's typical of what can happen when you play things in different positions. That I really liked. So I also did the same thing but down an octave. So starting from D here at the 5th fret of the A string, then it was F at the 1st fret of the E string, G at the 3rd fret, and then B flat at the 1st fret of the A string. Now I know straight away that when I play using this configuration, that the chances are rather than play a lead line or a fill, I'm going to play something that works more within the groove. So I've looked at 6 different ways of playing these same 4 notes, and each variation has produced a bass line that's completely but subtly different from the rest, but I think they all sound really good. This is a great technique to use to develop your bass playing, so try it out and see what you think. Let me know in the comments below how you get on. Don't forget to grab that PDF too. If you've enjoyed the lesson, feel free to like the video and support the channel by subscribing. Thanks for joining me. Look forward to seeing you again, and in the meantime, happy practicing.